Treasurer's office, parks, now I'm on to the fire department. If we combine the fire department, we could put first-class equipment all over the county. We could have a training center for all firemen in the county, including those who are currently in the so-called volunteer fire groups. In Highway 58 and in Walden's Ridge and out in Saudi Days, we could just combine them all together and have a single unified training system. Now, we could also unify all of the stations, and you're not going to have, we could work on a system whereby there were stations close to everybody's home. If we did that, we could avoid a problem that we had a few months ago in East Ridge. In East Ridge, there was a condo caught on fire and burned to the ground. That condo did not have, those condos did not have to burn to the ground because just a few blocks away, there was a fire station with advanced equipment that could put that fire out.
And it was a city one of Chattanooga.
But it was in the city of Chattanooga. In other words, there was an imaginary line that ran down the street, and these trucks couldn't cross to that. Now that was a property loss, and I'm sure it's insured and so on. But if there had been a child there, how would you explain that you lost a 3 or a 4-year-old child in a burning building because the fire trucks couldn't cross an imaginary line? That's a safety concern that we could resolve by having a single fire department. And I'll tell you something else, it would be cheaper by about 50% of what we pay now here in the city of Chattanooga for the Chattanooga Fire Department. Now, I think that could be done in 2 years. Go ahead, please do.
Okay. You've got all these different governments that have invested in East Ridge Phillips
Yes,
Park.
ma'am.
City of Chattanooga has, is it City of Chattanooga has an 911 center? Or is
Well,
it county?
we're supposed to be unifying that under the EMTs.
Okay,
but
so that's part of the, so I guess, but basically what I'm saying is you've got this fire hall, that fire hall, so all of this property that each of these city governments own, and all of this investment that they've done, you know, suddenly gets transferred over to county. Is there a compensation? How does that get worked out?
The exact details on that compensation would await the citizens group that has to meet to do this. We can work out a compensation package that will take care of it. But now you're getting close to it. Now you're getting very, very close to the heart of what has to happen here. I am talking about a new compact, a new constitution, a new agreement, a new charter, whatever name you want to use, that the citizens create, that the people vote on in August of 2014. We can put all kinds of terms in there to protect whatever you want to protect. We can protect the existing fire and police pensions in the city of Chattanooga, and we should. If there are firemen and policemen and they're in that system, they should be protected in that system. It's possible that we will have a less expensive pension system for any new people brought in, but all existing people get whatever benefits they have, and none of their existing benefits are cut. They're all better protected by this new tax base that we would create. Now, some people use this word. They use metro government. They talk
Like
about
Nashville does it.
Nashville has that.
Davidson County.
Nashville gets economic benefits from it. And I'm prepared to give these benefits to everyone. But it's not metro. I'm not getting rid of a single government. Lots of people are hostile to metro. Some of them don't understand it. But to a degree, I'm hostile to it because I think it's good to have the little governments. Why should we have little governments? Have neighborhood organizations like this one. Only these neighborhood organizations in Ridgeside or Lakeside or Saudi Daisy or Signal Mountain are official legal bodies. I don't mind. I'm not anti any of these small towns. I'm just saying the essential functions of government ought to be combined wherever we can. And that's what I'm trying to advocate here. I'm trying to advocate the economic benefits that you might get from metro government without going to metro government. And I'm saying anything on the list should be open for discussion. Now let me tell you how, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, a Chattanooga example. And it's even better if I were in East Ridge or Red Bank. But let's take a Chattanooga example. Let's imagine a house that's appraised at such a rate that the county taxes are about $1,000 and the city taxes are about $1,000. Okay? How would we pay for this? Well, if we got enough cooperation, we could actually cut the Chattanooga city budget in half. Cutting that $1,000 in city taxes back to $500. That's a big savings. But but somebody has to pay for it. And the city people still have to pay for it, but now they pay for it with county money. Instead of paying county taxes of $1,000, their county taxes would go up by $250. But remember, the city taxes went from $1,000 to $500. Their county taxes go from $1,000 to $1,250. That means their combined tax bill is $1,750 instead of $2,000. They just saved $250. I can't promise that we can get that much cooperation. I can't promise that, but I can tell you that there's a tremendous potential out there every time we come up with a duplicated service that we can save on, and we ought to lead on this.
How does that affect the smaller towns that live?
What?
Let's say I had a house of the same value in a smaller town, or a house that was taxed as much in a smaller town. You know, their taxes are not as much in some of these smaller towns. It seems like
But
Chattanooga
their
taxes
tax
are higher.
rate is high. I could go into East Ridge and cut their budget by about 90%, which would mean their taxes would drop from this high to 10%. Their county taxes would go up by only, I said 30, about 5%. 5% up on the county taxes, 90% down on their city taxes.
So they would have a greater benefit
They
than
would
some of these other
benefit
smaller towns would.
Yep. The only people that don't show a substantial savings are people who are in the entirely unincorporated sections. But
In
the entirely unincorporated sections,
If they're
places like
just in the
Sail
county,
Creek,
they're not in the
Appleton,
city.
and Birchwood, they don't get as much tax savings. But they might get better services. For example, if we put a unified fire system out there, their fire insurance rates would fall, and they wouldn't have to pay a fee to these little volunteer fire departments. They'd get a better fire department. Their taxes might actually go up to pay for better services they're getting. But my program works. Anybody who lives in any town in this county that's incorporated, they stand to benefit tax-wise under this program. And I have one more thing. I think at the point where we're saving this much on taxes, when we might be taxing, this would be the time to put a tax cap system in. A tax limitation system. Now, any tax limitation system would have to take account of emergencies. So if we had tornadoes like we had, remember the bad tornadoes over a year ago? If we had some sudden thing like that, we might have to give permission for them to have a tax rise to compensate for that. But I would want, when the emergency was resolved, the taxes to go down.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Okay. The city
I
of
love
Chattanooga.
your questions are excellent.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The city of Chattanooga has been on this rampage of annexation.
Yes.
I call it.
Yes.
I really
Yes, ma'am.
have an issue with the city government raising taxes or bringing in more tax revenue by just being like the Borg and sucking up all these areas. And what I'm asking is, if we transferred a lot, if we followed through on your plan and transferred a lot of this to county, would that reduce their incentive to try to grow by acquisition instead of just by reinvestment? in
It
the
would
core?
make annexation virtually irrelevant. You would have no reason to do it. The city would have no reason to do it. I don't like annexation. I am not for Metro. I am not for annexation. I am for getting rid of duplicated services under a plan that the people devise, that the people have to approve in a final vote. All I'm asking for is 2 years, man. Give me 2 years to try.